You know what they don't tell you about silence? They talk about it like it's passive, like it's weakness, like it's surrender, but they don't understand. Silence isn't absence, it's presence. A presence so heavy it shakes the foundations of those who thought they knew you. It's not about what you're saying, it's about what you're not giving them. And in that space, in that stillness, something shifts. They expected noise, they wanted chaos, they craved drama like air. That's how the world works, right? People need conflict to feel alive. They want you to scream, to cry, to lash out, because that's predictable, that's safe, that's easy to control. But when you stay quiet, you break the rules. You step outside the narrative they wrote for you, and that scares them, because silence isn't just a pause, it's a mirror, and mirrors show truth, not the polished version we wear in public, but the raw, unfiltered reality of the soul. When you stop reacting, when you stop feeding their hunger for reaction, you force them to look at themselves. And most people can't stand what they see. That's the real punchline. Not their betrayal, not their disrespect, not even the pain they caused. The joke's on them because they never saw it coming. They thought they had you figured out, thought they could walk all over you, spit on your boundaries and watch you flinch. But you didn't flinch. You stood still. You held your ground. And in doing so, you became something else entirely. You became the unknown. And nothing terrifies the human mind more than the unknown. Let me tell you something about silence. It's not emptiness, it's energy, it's potential. It's the quiet before the storm, the breath before the leap, the moment before the mask slips and the true self emerges. Silence is where the unconscious speaks, where the shadow begins to stir. And if you're brave enough to sit with it, to listen to it, to embrace it, you begin to understand yourself in ways you never have before. Because here's the truth. Silence is initiation. It's the first step into the underworld, into the depths of the psyche, into the labyrinth where your fears live, where your traumas hide, where your deepest truths wait in the dark. Most people run from silence because they're afraid of what they might find. But not you. You stepped inside willingly. And now there's no turning back. See, when someone disrespects you, betrays you, underestimates you, they're not just attacking your ego. They're triggering your shadow. They're forcing you to confront parts of yourself you've buried. Anger, pain, fear, resentment. These are not flaws. These are fragments of your soul that have been neglected, denied, or dismissed. But they're part of you, and they demand recognition. Jung called this process individuation, the integration of the shadow, the reclaiming of lost parts of the self. It's not pretty, it's not comfortable, but it's necessary. Because until you face your darkness, you'll always be at the mercy of others' projections. Until you own your rage, your sorrow, your bitterness, you will remain a prisoner of other people's expectations. So when you choose silence, you're not avoiding the fight. You're preparing for it. You're gathering strength. You're allowing the unconscious to speak. And in that silence, something begins to change. You begin to change. Your silence becomes a boundary, a wall, a fortress, not built to keep others out, but to protect the sacred space within, the place where your truth resides. the place where your purpose is being forged. Because silence doesn't mean submission. It means sovereignty. It means you've taken back control of your narrative. You've stopped letting others define who you are. And that's terrifying to those who tried to control you. Because now you're untouchable. Now you're unpredictable. Now you're not playing their game anymore. You're playing your own. And in your game, silence is the ultimate weapon. Not because it hurts them, but because it heals you. Because every second you stay quiet, you're healing old wounds. You're rewriting old stories. You're stepping into a new identity. One not defined by their words, their actions, their opinions. One defined by your own will, your own vision, your own becoming. Let them think they've won. Let them celebrate their little victory. Let them pat themselves on the back for breaking you, because they haven't. They couldn't. Because the real war was never against them. It was within you. And you've already won that battle. You've chosen consciousness over reaction. You've chosen stillness over chaos. You've chosen transformation over retaliation. And that makes you dangerous, not in the way they expect, not with threats or violence or vengeance, but in the way that matters most, in the quiet confidence of someone who has touched the core of their being and come out stronger. Someone who has stared into the abyss and refused to blink. Because when you silence the noise, you hear the whispers of your soul. When you silence the drama, you awaken the archetypes within. When you silence the world, you begin to speak your own truth. And once you've found that voice, that deep, resonant, unwavering voice, you'll never lose it again, because silence taught you how to listen to yourself, to your pain, to your power. And now, nothing, not their words, not their lies, not their attempts to provoke you, can shake you, because you've become the archetype of the silent warrior, the one who fights without weapons, the one who wins without war, the one who walks away stronger, wiser, and free. And when they finally realize what's happened, when they see you standing tall, untouched, unbroken, they'll feel it. That weight, that pressure, that fear. Because now they know they messed with the wrong person. But it's too late, because you've already moved on. You've already transcended. You've already become. And all they have left is silence. Their silence. The silence of regret. The silence of fear. The silence of knowing they never really knew you at all. Silence is only the beginning. Because once you've embraced the shadow, once you've confronted the darkness within, you must integrate it. You must take those parts of yourself that were once hidden and make them whole again. This is the essence of individuation. It's not about rejecting the shadow. It's about understanding it. About recognizing that every wound, every betrayal, every moment of disrespect has shaped you, has carved you into something stronger, more complete. You were not meant to be perfect. You were meant to be whole, and wholeness requires embracing both light and dark. So let me ask you, what did their disrespect teach you? What did their betrayal reveal? What did their arrogance illuminate? Because every painful experience is a doorway, a threshold into deeper self-awareness. If you walk through it, if you allow yourself to feel it, to reflect on it, to grow from it, you emerge transformed. You become the alchemist of your own soul. You turn suffering into wisdom. You turn silence into strength. You turn pain into power. And that's the secret they'll never understand, because they're still stuck in their own cycles of projection, denial, and fear. They're still trying to control the narrative, still trying to rewrite history, still trying to convince themselves they were right. But you know better. You've seen the truth. You've walked the path of the initiate. You've descended into the underworld and returned. And now you carry the light within you, a light that cannot be extinguished, a light that shines not in opposition to darkness, but in harmony with it. Because you understand now, darkness is not evil. It is simply unlit. And you are the lantern bearer, the one who walks between worlds, the one who bridges the conscious and the unconscious, the one who dares to see beyond illusion. And when they look at you now, they don't see the same person they once tried to break. They see someone different, someone deeper, someone whole. And that's what haunts them, not your anger, not your words, not your revenge, but your silence. Because in that silence, they hear the echo of their own inadequacy. In that silence, they feel the weight of their own ignorance. In that silence, they are reminded of the truth they tried to deny. You were never theirs to control. You were never broken. You were always becoming. And now, you have arrived. So go ahead. Stay silent. Let them wonder. Let them doubt. Let them fear. Because in that silence, you are reborn. You are refined. You are revealed. And when the time comes, when you finally speak again, it won't be with words. It will be with presence, with clarity, with purpose. And they will know. They will feel it in their bones. You've already won. You won the moment you chose silence. You won the moment you turned inward. You won the moment you embraced the shadow. And now, nothing, not their words, not their actions, not their attempts to break you, will ever touch you again. Because you've become what they feared most. You've become yourself, fully, completely, unapologetically. And that is the greatest power of all.